Welcome to In Focus. I'm Eric Hesseldahl, head of SAP News. We're talking today with Christian Kroll, the CEO of Ecosia search engine, and Florian Roth, the Chief Information Officer at SAP. So thanks to both for joining us. Christian, I'll start with you. How does Ecosia work, and how does searching the internet, what's the connection between that and planting trees?
Thanks for having me. So Ecosia basically works like any other internet search engine you could use. You type in your search terms and we show you search results. The big difference though is that the money that we are generating from these searches goes into tree planting. We calculate that each search takes around 1 kilogram of CO2 from the atmosphere. So if you're doing thousands of searches a year, that's really a lot of CO2 removed from the atmosphere. And on top of that, we're also offering much better privacy than many other search engines do.
So most of the employees at SAP will probably be using Google. Can you compare Ecosia to Google?
Yeah, so we're using Bing for most of our searches. What we do is we enrich Bing results basically with other sources. So if you want to know what the weather is like, then we're taking that weather information from somewhere else, not from Bing. And what we also do is we highlight greener alternatives on our search page. So especially equally friendly websites, we give them a little green leaf right next to the search results.
So talk to me, what's your longer term vision for Ecosia, and what are kind of your next steps on the technical front? What kind of things do you have on the roadmap?
So our long-term vision is basically to help solve climate change. We want to plant ideally billions of trees because our planet needs them. But we also want to use our search engine to help people make more sustainable choices. So let's say somebody types into Ecosia that, let's say you want to book a flight from Berlin to Munich, then we could highlight that this is not such a good idea and that you should take the train instead. So we can help people behave more environmentally friendly and also make money like other search engines do and basically have a positive impact on our planet.
Florian, let me turn to you. How did you come up with the idea of making Ecosia the standard search engine for employees at SAP?
Yeah, so Ecosia actually is not a new topic at SAP, and we were previously kind of promoting that as an alternative search engine. But you know, the conversation about global sustainability wasn't as big as and widespread as it is today. And thankfully, you know, SAP's strong commitment, what we have for climate action, has fundamentally now raised the awareness among all our SAP employees. And you know, I was introduced to Ecosia by 4 very smart young talents in my organization, and they had participated in an internal global sustainability challenge where they investigated how SAP's carbon footprint could change if all 100,000 employees we have across the globe, you know, would use Ecosia instead of any other, you know, internet search engine. And the results were impressive, right? Because SAP's annual CO2 compensation compared to Germany's annual based on 2020 emission would be 7% what we could achieve, which is massive, right? And our focus of green IT was on our kind of IT equipment life cycle, the use of data storage and e-waste, etc. So Ecosia, you know, fitted very, very well into that concept that we immediately adapted the idea of Ecosia as the new standard internet search engine at SAP. And I guess employees still have the freedom of choice going forward, which search engine they are using. But I'm very sure and I'm hoping, right, that many of them, you know, embrace that initiative, what we are now starting together.
Talk to me a little bit. You mentioned green IT in that last answer. Talk a little bit about that. What does it stand for, and why is it kind of increasing in urgency for large companies such as ours, and even, you know, smaller and mid-sized ones?
Yeah. In general terms, I guess green IT stands for really minimizing the negative impact of IT operations on our, you know, environment by designing, manufacturing, and operating, and also disposing of, you know, computer-related products in an environmentally friendly manner. And in today's digitization and cloud computing, you know, are important factors in reducing our carbon footprint. And but the urgency lies with the knowledge that technology is both part of the problem, but also part of the solution going forward. And organizations have the responsibility and the power to do something about it right now. And let me give you some insights into how we at SAP are approaching, you know, green IT. For example, the IT equipment life cycle, right? In 2020, SAP's global IT equipment returns resulted in 68 tons of scrap to be recycled. Previously, employees, didn't have any insights into the negative impact of old equipment disposals. And now our focus is really on end-to-end IT equipment life cycles, which really brings there and provides a transparency of the CO2 consumption values of IT equipment by displaying them in an internal procurement catalog even. It also creates awareness with specific information, all in an effort for employees to form an educated opinion and change their behavior. I guess that's the main topic. Also with today's climate change urgency, also Christian talked about that. SAP is facing really a challenge in the areas of e-waste disposal, for example, right? So our goal is here to improve the granularity of SAP's global disposal report by reporting actual recycling values for all our locations worldwide, and with that eliminating really estimated values. And only real data speak for themselves and will lead really to real actions at the end of the day. And speaking about data storage and reduction is another urgent topic for us, really to uncover and avoid unused resources faster, to increase our focus on compliance and to enforce data retention policies. And this well-known consumer topic is also, for example, single use of plastic, right? But we are going much more now beyond the single use of that. And for a few weeks now, I can proudly say that we have managed to completely eliminate single-use plastics in our internal IT shipping logistics, which was heavily used actually during the pandemic, of course. So that is a very positive impact. And now with the addition of Ecosia, we can have a real positive, impact on the planet, also in a fun way actually. And I just want to throw out one statistic, and with only 3 clicks a day, right, resulting in 2.2 million trees possibly being planted annually in the name of SAP employees, that is really, big positive impact what we can do, to really make the world run better. And that goes, hand in hand with the change of human behavior.
I'm wondering, aside from changing your search engine and switching to Ecosia, what else would you suggest that employees do at the personal level to contribute to more sustainable use of IT resources? Anything in specific, any other rules of thumb that you try to advise?
Yeah, I mean, we can create, really the framework, but, in the end, it is the change, as I said now, in behavior of every single employee that will make the difference. And think twice before, you order new IT equipment. Do you really need it? From where do you purchase it? Look at the carbon footprint of, for example, that new laptop. How does that look like? Are there alternatives that may be more, sustainable? And take a closer look at, your data storage. Do you need to hand on every kind of email, every report, every document? A regular cleanup of data goes along with that. And, take action. Raise your hands if you see that our delivery partners are not following, our green policies beyond the single use of plastic. And our contribution from an IT perspective is really to raise the awareness and to provide as much information as possible that really every employee worldwide in every country we are operating can make a consensus decision. And I believe people want the change to take place. They want to leave a healthier planet for the generations to come. And we can provide there really the framework and also work relentlessly, really on awareness. But in order to, instill the change in its human behavior, it has to be also provide in an easy to do, day by day relatable context. And I really believe, our move now with Ecosia is really a prime example of that. Because as you also said, it's very easy to install, and by that we can do that across all green IT topics, and we will really see a big change in action.
Terrific. Well, thanks for the time, Florian. Thank you for the time, Christian, and we'll talk again. Thanks very much for watching In Focus.